What is up, all of my pen people? This is my first episode of a Currently Inked. Something that I end up watching others do a lot online, and I figured why not? I've got a ton of pens. I think I've always just held off just because it's so much work. I'm always running through inks and pens, but you will definitely see probably like 5 or 6 or so very consistent pens that I do keep running with. All right, so first off, I was just cleaning this Leonardo last night, and I did not finish it, so this was kind of where I paused when I started rinsing it. But this had Tesla coil in it, and that was a brilliant sheener of an ink, but it ended up clogging the feed a couple times, and I would have to take the take it apart and then manually prime the converter by like pushing down a little bit just to give it enough pressure to overcome that little clog that was the result of the intense heavy sheen. So it's a beautiful ink. I don't know if I'm going to run with it in my pens very often though. All right, next, what else? We've got some stuff on the desk here. I was also working on the Zizo. I put the original fine nib back on here because I don't really care for fines. I had a nice stub on there, and I felt that the stub was kind of getting starved by the feed. And these only come in fines or, mediums, at least last I checked. So I think the feed was kind of starving it, so I went ahead, put the original nib back on. I don't know what I'm going to do with this pen because I absolutely love the abalone. And it is very smooth. Definitely not Urushi smooth because I've had Urushi pens, but this was like, for the price, pretty darn close. Okay, I know a lot of people are going to hate me for that. Next, what else we got? Yeah, so I don't know what I'm going to do with this. I got a couple pens in the mail, so that's probably going to end up on one of those. What else is going on? Inked up. All right. We've got the F3. This is next up for review. I wanted to review this one way long ago, but I ended up doing lots of other reviews because those pens got sold to different people, so they had to kind of jump up in the queue, the list here of what's getting reviewed. But this F3 should be coming next, and this was a sweet nib too. Parental discretion advised for this one. This back here isn't a pen. This is just kind of my dip nib that I always keep hanging around here on a River City. This just got inked up. This is a Pilot 74 with the music nib. This is from a channel sponsor in for review, and this is a really cool one, and I'm enjoying this. So look forward to that review soon, along with that F3. The Mag 600. So I'm not carrying this as much just because when I do carry it, it tends to get inky because the seal is not great. But I do leave it here at the escritoire for when I just want to pick something up and write a lot. So let's get you a writing sample of that. All right, I figured I might as well give you a writing sample here. So this is the October 2024 currently inked. So first off, we have the F3. This was the pocket pen. And this is with was Ajicide. It was a Kodachi grind. Next up, we had the Pilot 74. This one is inked up in Manyo Kanagi. This is one of my go-to tester inks because it's pretty benign, yet still beautiful. And this one is sporting the music nib. Sorry, I messed up there. Next up, we had the Mag 600. Dun, 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 dun. Beautiful feel, wonderful flex. And this one is in one of my all-time favorite inks. I will always have a pen that I love inked up in this ink. And that is Diamine Arctic Blue. This does have shimmer, so you're going to have to be aware and use it accordingly in your pens. Next up is a pen that has become my daily carry. The Visconti Homo sapiens. And this is not an easy pen to change inks on. So I pretty much am keeping this in one flavor. This one has a palladium medium nib. And I'm keeping it inked in Walden. And it's a beautiful teal ink with some decent sheen. It's good enough to notice, where a lot of sheens are kind of subtle, maybe only on the outskirts, kind of like the Manyokanagi. But this sheen is, this one and Holly are my two go-to sheens. So those are the two that are going to be basically living in this pen. There we have that ink, and that was the infamous spill too on my Inktasrophe video. Alrighty, next up, I'm actually kind of surprised to see overall how many pens I have inked up, because I would guess between 12 and 15, but I don't actually know. This is my Galen pen holder here, and this one I keep, this is the original size, so I keep about 5, so it's not overstuffed. They did just release a new oversized one to accommodate pens like I carry here, so I'll probably hope to get something like that in the future. But over here we've got a Walltown pen. This was their Slim, I think it was. This one was Colorverse Cat. What's the nib on this one? This one is a 1.5 stub. I'll actually go back and put hash marks in all of them too. Next up, we've got a Jason Neal Tucker in Aurora Borealis. And this one, I've been swapping nibs a lot on because I love the pen and I'm just trying to find the perfect nib for it. Right now, it's got a matte chin nib on there. So the Tucker is inked in Iroshizuku Shin Ryoku, which is a really nice green shader. And what did I say? We had a matte chin on here. And this one was a, I would call it a, this was a custom grind. He started off with a double broad and then ground it down to, I would say, somewhere in between a medium to broad italic. And this is very sharp to write with. I love this edition he put up top too. All right, guys, next up we have a River City pen. This is a modified Westwood with a little bit of, I think he called it beveled edging there. I don't even remember what's in this. Let's take a look. This was inked up like last week too, within the last couple days. Oh, I'm already halfway through, wow. It's got shimmer. What was this? Ooh, I know what this is, because this says, I should have just looked at the nib. This nib has one of my all-time favorite inks now. Alright, so this was the River City Westwood, and I keep this one inked up in one of my new favorite inks. And that is Robert Oster Crystal Marine. And this is a Salamander Shark Bait Flex. This Crystal Marine, when it dries, it's going to take like probably 3 or 4 minutes to dry because these modern flex nibs run very wet. But you'll see a ton of shimmer and you see much more shading than I would get out of the same ink, even though I use it in a broad. Next up, my RT Pen Company Concord. There we go. Beautiful, beautiful pen. Resembles my guitar picks. And this ink window helps you see when you're low on ink or when your shimmer is settled. So you can kind of mix it and see a little bit better. One thing I do when I'm mixing shimmer, I try and go up and down, because if there's any air in there, that air bubble passing up and down tends to displace more shimmer than if I were just to kind of rotate it like this. So I do kind of, yeah, I mean, I spin 'em, man. I fidget, so that's my best way of mixing shimmer right there. But anyway, back onto this one. Going under the hood, we've got a FPR Flex, Gold Flex, I should say. And this ink is one I adore. I love kind of goldish browns, or more orangish gold browns. So I really like this ink a lot. And my go-to is Honeyburst, and this is basically Honeyburst with extra shimmer. And this one is J. Urban, Cornerline, D. Egypt. And this one was that FPR Gold Flex. Alrighty, next up and last in this case, we have a newer edition, a Fourth Kind pens. Look at that cap. That's the material I loved. It looks like space. This is pretty cool too. It's definitely, I like that kind of, you can see it right there, that sheen almost when you turn it. It's got a purple hues in there, but this resin up top. He used two different resins. Underneath here, we have a 1.1 stub. And what are we rocking in this? Oh, I remember. Okay. So we've got the Fourth Kind, J. Urban, Kyanate, Du Nepal. 1.1 stub. And these I actually do use quite a bit. I carry these with me to work, and then I write different logs, and I use a different color each day in the log to make it nice and clear what what days are which logs. All right, so this I also carry with me to work, and this is my A5 Galen journal, and I keep two pens in here because these are my work pens. Aside with my Visconti, that's actually in my my pocket there. All right, so the two pens I have here are I bet you know this one. Oh yeah, the Vanishing Point. This is what seduces everyone to the dark side. So we've got a Pilot Vanishing Point. So smooth, so just juicy, wet, playful. I love this nib, and I love this configuration. It really brings everything in the fountain pen that you really need to a beautiful package, and it's just, I can't say enough about the Vanishing Point. And in here, we have a different green. What do we have in here? Oh, my new favorite green. That is all shading. J. Urban Lierre Sauvage. I think that's how I say it, in a medium nib. Next one is a vintage 1960s, pre-1967. I got to take the nib off to see exactly what year it is. But pre-1967, this is a Pilot long short, and this might look familiar to some people who are still in the pen world today. So in this one, I have another new favorite ink, because it's in that same palette that we talked about earlier. Montverde, a Copper Noir. And this is a fine nib. But it's gold, so it's bouncy. That's why these two are my work pens, because I've got a nice fine for my planner, and I've got a nice medium, and that pretty much runs the gamut of what I would need, along with my machine pen in one pocket, and I carry this in another pocket too, another medium. So that's my pretty daily work carry, but let's keep going. I think I might have a few more that are inked. Oh yeah, I definitely do, because I've got some in my B5 journal. So we will say goodbye to the A5 work journal, and we will say hello to my A5 journal. This is what I use when I'm actually writing letters to people. As you can kind of see, I've got my writing paper in there. I've got one pen actually inked in here right now, so we are just gonna make it today, I think. This pen here is a River City, and this is another Westwood. Nice green and orange. And under the hood, we have a custom 1.5 Italic. And I keep forgetting the name of this company in Spain that I ordered this from because I ordered it a while back. But I will absolutely put it in the description. This is a great nib. And here we have a inked up in one of my all-time favorite inks. I say that a lot. I guess I have a lot of all-time favorite inks. And that's in that 1.5. Oh, no, it's not a stub. Whoop. Let's cancel that out. I forgot. This was not a stub. This is a full-on italic grind. But this is my currently inked in October. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14 pens currently inked, which is actually kind of right where I thought it was, between 12 and 15, so woo. And each one has a different ink, and as far as I can see, let me double check, every single one, except for I've got 2 mediums. All of these pens are different nibs, so that's awesome. It can be done, guys. I'm living the dream. 12 pens, different inks, different nibs. Check out some shimmer and sheen there. What do we got down here? Oh yeah, look at that. Beautiful, beautiful crystal marine. And then we have the FBR is starting to dry, so you're really starting to see some awesome shading and shimmer and sheen in there too. Oh, and that there's that nice heavy sheen blue dragon in metallic 1.5. And finally, here's a look at all of my currently inked pens of October in 2024. Some are in for review, some are here to stay, and they all have different inks, and except for 2 mediums, they're all different nibs. Thanks for watching, guys. Stay tuned for more fun pen stuff.